How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
Lucknow Super Giants have opening night heartbreak to put behind them. In their bid to do so, standing in front of them is the Sunrisers in Hyderabad. How do they go about things in match number 7? Let's find out. On Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout, where we're in the company of Nick Knight and Ambati Rayudu. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Is it even possible to stop Sunrisers?
Good question. You need a point of difference, I think, as a bowling unit, and I think LSG didn't really have that in the first game, partly because of injuries. It may be that Avesh Khan is fit enough to take his place. If it is, that's a big plus for them. I would have gone with Shamar Joseph. I'd have played him. As I say, just because he's a little bit different, there's a little bit more pace. They've got a couple of leggies that they can use. I don't think you can just be regulation, bowl, length, line, and expect to curtail the strengths of SRH. So they need a point of difference. That's how I'd go.
Regardless of if Avesh makes it or not, would you consider getting Shamar Joseph into the side?
Yeah, absolutely. I think even Avesh and Shamar will add some value on that pitch in Hyderabad. But against Sunrisers, what we have seen to be slightly more effective is good spin, and LSG spinners actually can come into the attack much more earlier than what RR have done against SRH. So I think the spin to win has always been the case against SRH batting.
Mustn't forget the fielders as well. I mean, when we look at these contests, we all go bat bowl. Who's going to bowl well, who's going to bat well. The fielding is so crucial. I mean, if this guy here was, if you take a brilliant catch, do something special, great run out, you can change the game rather than reflecting at the end of the game about a drop catch that cost another 50 runs. So it's going to have to be small margins, but they're going to have to get a lot right.
When you consider this challenge and just the extent of what Sunrisers can do in Hyderabad, is there any sense in batting first, making the most of what is a good pitch and trying to put scoreboard pressure on Sunrisers?
Maybe. I mean, when you look at LSG, historically their strength is batting first. They've had a few struggles, and I think that's why they brought in David Miller. I think that's a good signing, partly because they've struggled to chase as well. So when you combine those two factors, you think, yeah, that's a genuine option. Try and bat first, put scoreboard pressure on. The other thing is what sort of score you're going to look to get there. There's not much doubt about how many runs. You need to be 250. You need to be somewhere around there so you can gauge your batting first along those numbers.
The flip side to the batting first conundrum is, of course, that you do have an inexperienced bowling lineup. Are you sure you want them to be defending against that mightier batting attack?
I think that's the best chance they have. Put runs on the board and try and defend them. And also there's a lot of unknown commodities in LSG's bowling lineup which can trouble Sunrisers. We have seen that against DC as well. But in the end their executions were off. The lengths for the spinners were off. Otherwise there was enough in the pitch in that last game as well. So I think if the spinners get their act right, LSG can trouble Sunrisers in that game.
Now, at least till the time most of the bowlers return, Lucknow are going to rely on this batting lineup. And it's not short on firepower, is it? You've got Marsh and Puran who've already off to a start. Rishabh Pant will hope to do better. What do you think? Have they got their batting order right in that first game?
Yeah, but then again, we were just debating about Shamar Joseph. I mean, one of the top orders is going to have to miss out. Someone's going to have to miss out if they play him. I probably would have left out Aidan Markham in that game, but it looked like he's going to open again. I think they probably got it about right. Mitch Marsh at the top, I thought he was outstanding. I mean, that flick first ball of Mitchell Stark and then acknowledged the crowd. I thought that was pretty classy. Nicholas Pooran, I'm a massive fan of, but I'm also a massive fan of him being at number 3. I think franchises have spent too long leaving him down at 5 and 6 and finishing games when actually he's a guy that can set the game up for you. So I think franchises are using him better now. Rishabh obviously needs some runs. I mean, he missed out in the last game. But is there a more gifted, more talented player around? That there aren't many. And so you expect him to come good.
And they will look at the fact that it's not like Sunrisers managed to stem the flow of runs either. Rajasthan did finish with 242. How do you see the Sunrisers bowling attack coping?
I think they have at least accepted the fact that they are going to go for big runs in Hyderabad. So they are just trying to get those big hits minimized, as so to say. And they all know that in a big scoring venue, it's always the team which gives the less number of sixes generally wins. I think they're going to go fuller much earlier. We have seen that with Shami, we have seen that with Harshal. They go to their defensive bowling quite early in the match, and I think anybody that goes to Sunrisers should try and do that. get their spinners early, and also the fast bowlers, instead of trying to hit lengths and trying to get batsmen out on a short ball, or in a normal way, so to say, I think they need to go fuller, try not to give them much elevation in their shots, and that's the only way you can survive there.
I agree. When I watch the modern game now and commentate on it, I often think in this format of the game, the stumps are not used enough, and they're not bowling at the stumps enough. And there was a game, I think, last night where Vaishak was brilliant and he was bowling wide Yorkers. I get that, and I get that there's a place for that. But I also don't forget there's a place for bowling at the stumps too. And I think sometimes bowlers forget that. They go into sort of 4-day test match mode and outside off stump. But us batters love that. It creates width for you. So, yeah, maybe bowl at the stumps a little bit more.
Let's see if the bowlers can find some respite in Hyderabad, because it's going to be some batting might on display. You've got everyone in Sunrisers, and now you've got Marsh and Pooran and Miller and Pant. The first game in Hyderabad, so 528 scored. Are you seeing that tally cross?
Yeah, and maybe a bit more. Let's see. I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it? I guess as a batter, you just queue up and you're saying, go on, let me have a go on that surface. But yeah, I mean, it's as much as the focus will be on the batting and how many runs there are. For me, when I look at the two sides, I look at the bowling units and can they hold the batting, and that's why I look at SRH again. We focus on the firepower at the top, but SRH's bowling, they've got everything covered. Zampa, Mohamed Shami at the top, Pat Cummins in the middle, maybe at the top, Harshal Patel, brilliant signing at the back end. They've got all the bases of the innings covered, so they're going to be tough to beat.
Overwhelming favourites, Sunrisers?
Yeah, I think they are the favourites. Not because of the bowling, I feel, but because LSG has about 4 batsmen who can who can really play explosively, but these guys have 8. So I think
so much
are
talk
powerful.
around 300. If they bat first, could this be the game then? Thank you so much, Nick Knight, Ambati Rayudu, for setting the game up for us. The corresponding fixture last year, LSG batted first, made 165. Sunrisers chased it down in 9.4 overs.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.